Mr.
Your life is not on the line. Mine is. And you think that I think this is funny?
I don't think it's funny whatsoever.
So I think, Your Honor, with all due respect, I think you should show some respect.
We're going to take a 5-minute break, and when we come back, the jury's coming out, and you need to call your next witness. Thank you. We are in recess.
No, you're not rushing me to judgment. I don't care what you're talking about.
Anybody disturbed by how personal it seemed that Darrell Brooks Jr. got with Judge Joro? Think about that. Let it marinate like a steak or something. But really, just kind of like let it sort of soak in there. I'm going to give you 4 or 5 seconds. Just think about it. Think about why was it that Darrell Brooks Jr. had to get so personal with Judge Joro? Because honestly, I got to tell you something. It was something that you didn't see with Sue Hopper. You didn't see it with Basie. You didn't see it with Wichow. You didn't really see it that much. You know who you saw it with was with the police officer that apparently sort of had some sort of rapport with Darrell Brooks Jr. The guy that basically said, you know how women can be and that sort of thing. And actually got a little bit of that, hate stare from the judge and from the prosecution team and from basically every woman in the courthouse. Because, cops can lie and they can use trick to get you to say what they want. But that right there, I think it resonated with Darrell a little bit too much. And I think it really kind of rubbed a lot of women the wrong way and a lot of men that are feminists the wrong way, because it was kind of like, were you using a trick or do you actually believe that? Because, that's the guy looked kind of like a misogynist. But again, he's a detective. He's got to get answers. And, there was always that risk. One thing about TV that's real, there was always that risk in that interrogation that Darrell would lawyer up. And if he lawyered up, interrogation's over, questions are over, interview's over. So, I don't think the guy is a chauvinist, a misogynist, or anything like that. But I can't tell you that wasn't the vibe in the room. But I digress. Enough about that detective. Aside from Judge Joro, I would say that detective got Darrell Brooks Jr. wanted to get extra personal. But remember, that detective was on the stand for an hour at most, 2 hours. Darrell and Judge Joro were up at it for 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 days, every day. And so I just feel like when you see the clip that I've used before, but I want to use it again, where Darrell says it's not your life on the line, it's mine. When he stands up, and the judge stands up, to me, that's just too personal. He's getting too familiar. And the judge is not swatting him down. Didn't put red tape across his mouth, didn't throw him to the other courtroom, didn't hold him in contempt, didn't lay down the law like Sue Hopper would have. She just kind of says, let's take a 5-minute break. Or other times when Darrell says, if it pleases the court, I'm sorry, Your Honor, no disrespect, Your Honor. He's a manipulator. He's trying to win her over. It's not working, but that's not what this is about. It's not about whether or not it's working. It's not whether or not Judge Joro saw it. It's about Darrell getting that personal with the judge. Is it a tactic of manipulation? What is it? It's just weird. It makes me feel weird. It makes a lot of you feel weird. This whole video is not something I thought up. It comes from a comment, as many of my videos do. It came from a comment. Someone left a comment saying that they were upset at how personal Darrell Brooks Jr. tried to get with the judge. And honestly, I don't know if he was just trying, because there were so many times the judge could have, issued a substantial response and did not. And some people have said, even though, I give Judge Joro 97%, and I hold to that. Have I ever said 96 or 98 or 90 or 80? No, I've always held to my score. People say, oh, you're real big into that score. I am, because that's how much I believe she got a 97. But that 3 I don't give her, it's because she didn't, do certain things. And, I just got to say, that her not doing what I attribute to be that 3%, what others have, attributed to giving her 20% reduction. Some people give her an 80. An 80 is a C. You're passing. You're good, but you're not getting an A or a B. You know what I mean? And you're not getting on the honor roll. You're just like mediocre is what I think they used to refer to the C back in the day. I don't know what they refer to it today, but it's not anything really to hang your hat on. But they say that because she was so soft, or maybe whatever, that she lost her bid for the Wisconsin Supreme Court. And I don't know if that's true or not. How does anyone know if that's true or not? That is purely speculative. But again, this was a highly, highly televised trial. People were very angry. You had a defendant representing himself who was extremely insensitive to the victims and to their families, not to mention to the court. If Judge Duro would have been the way Sue Opera was from prosecution team, or if Judge Duro had been like the judge in the, what was the case? Oh, gosh, what was the case? Well, there was a guy that was like facing the death penalty, and I think I made a video on it. And he basically asked the judge if he could have 10 minutes to address the court. And the judge said, well, you know what? I don't know if I can give you 10 minutes. Just hurry up and say what you got to say. That judge looking at a guy who was guilty, admitted guilt, and, was probably going to get the death sentence and was asking for the death sentence no less. All that person wanted was 10 minutes. The judge was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to give you 10 minutes. Just hurry it along. That's like an OG judge. That's a no nonsense. I'm not here to be your friend. I don't even care if you're declaring yourself guilty. I don't even care if you're going to do like a John Stockton assist. That's a basketball reference. I don't even care if you're going to assist a guy that's going to put the lethal injection in your arm. I still don't care. I'm not going to show you any kind of leniency at all. I'm not even going to be nice to you, because I don't have to be nice to you, because you are now soon to be a convicted murderer. This is not, and so, she probably would have looked harsh. She probably might have looked cold. She might have looked, whatever, but she might have also won her seat in the Wisconsin Supreme Court. I think that, Wisconsin, with the exception of Madison and Milwaukee, is a very, very red state. Judge Duro, this is not, judges don't, put their political views out there, but I would not be surprised if Judge Duro was a conservative. And people on the right like judges and prosecutors that are hard on crime. They don't like prosecutors that cut plea deals. They don't like judges that issue soft sentences. And I got to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the harder conservative, harder right people that watch a trial and saw Judge Duro, as she said, let me walk that back. Let's take 5 minutes. I'm only going to say this one more time, and then went on to say it 5 more times. They probably were not impressed by that. And they probably didn't give her a 97 like I do. And they probably didn't want her on the bench. So I don't know. Maybe you could leave a comment on that. But this video is not about that. This video is about whether or not Darrell Brooks Jr. got too personal with the judge for comfort. And I say he did. What do you say?
I'm glad you're back here, sir.
Are you, Your Honor?
I am, sir, actually.
I'm not too sure. Especially when I bring up subject matter jurisdiction.
I've ruled on that, sir.
I know, but it hasn't been proven for the record.
If you disagree with my ruling, sir, you can file an appeal.
It has to be proven on the record. Has yet to be proven on the record.
I disagree, sir. You can have your sheet. All rise for the jury, please.